Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. It's about time to start the Trade of the Week webinar. Before we get going, let me know in the questions panel if you can hear me and see that first slide. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Jacques. Thank you, friends. So before we get going, a couple questions we ask before the opening of the Trade of the Week afternoon webinars. Do you currently have a subscription to Trade Ideas? Yes or no? You'll see that slide pop up on your screen now. So go ahead and vote accordingly, and I'll remind everyone that the audience is muted while you vote. And also during the webinar, use the questions panel to interact with the presenters. If you have a question you'd like to see demonstrated or security you'd like to see an opinion on, do wait until they're taking questions from the audience. Otherwise, we'll just go ahead and reply to your questions in the chat panel. And you're welcome to ask any other questions there at any time. So it looks like most already have a subscription to the room, over 70%. Thank you for voting. A quick follow-up for the subscribers. If you are a Trade Ideas subscriber, do you have regular Trade Ideas or Premium? If you're not familiar with the difference, Premium gives you access to the AI's AI channels, the odds maker backtesting module, the ability to auto trade using AI strategy with a participating broker. If you have Premium, and other goodies like the RBI, GBI advanced windows, the ability to open up to 20 concurrent charting windows. So it looks like most in the room, a little bit over 50%, already have Premium. Thank you for sharing that. Your hosts, as usual, on the Tuesdays are Steve Gomez and Andy Lindloff. We're going to record the session. The recording will be up later on later on tonight or tomorrow morning, and you get an email reminder tomorrow from GoToWebinar with a link to the playlist where you can find it. So I'll go ahead and let Steve and Andy get started. Hey guys, how's your Tuesday?
Hey Scott, thank you. Hey everybody, hello Andy.
Hey Steve, hello Scott, hi everybody.
All right, got a jet flying over my head, but maybe you won't hear it. Welcome to the Trade of the Week every other Tuesday. These last 2 weeks have definitely flown by. Here we are again to talk more about, swing trading. I don't do a lot of day trading, so the Trade of the Week is a swing trading format, and that's usually what we'd like to talk about here. But before we get into it, the reminder, the disclaimer, we're a software company, and Andy and I are also employees of this company. We also trade our own accounts, and we have some opinions in these webinars, but our opinions are not to be representative of Trade Ideas, nor are they to be considered financial advice. You got to seek out the right brokers to pay a fee to get that kind of advice. So we have people joining all the time from all over the world, and everybody learns differently. Some people dive right in, some people need some help. And the best way to shorten your learning curve is to take advantage of our visual presentations every day, which is basically Barry's live trading room, bell to bell. And we have 2 webinars pretty much every day, one at 12 Eastern, give Barry a break, and then again at 3:30 Eastern after market. Chris is usually in there helping people with questions. If you're not taking advantage of these and you are a new user and you still have some confusion or you'd like to figure out how to make it work better for you, you got to show up to these webinars, and you'll get all the attention you need and visually, because it's very hard to discuss over the phone and over chat. So that's why we have those webinars. And to get to that, if you're not aware, you just go to this little address, tradeaideas.com/live, and that redirects you to the YouTube live feed. If Barry's not on there, either one of us or Chris will be on there at noon, and then again, like I said, at 3:30, but that's the easiest way to get there. Just a reminder, one of our newer features is stock racing. It's basically allowing us to take scans that updated every 30 seconds and see in a much faster time frame which one of those symbols are actually climbing up the ladder using a grid of a car race format, as opposed to just trying to keep track of what symbols are moving where on a top list. So you see us talking a lot about that feature. And then one of our ebooks that's available still at this address down here, .com/strategy, is Dave Mabe's ebook that he contributed to some trader education. Good stuff. We've got a few ebooks out there, all from different people in our organization, and all very good takes on the market and trading. Which brings us to our theme of the week, as usual, man and machine combined. No human is better than a machine by itself, and no machine is better than a human with a machine. So what that means is no matter what industry you're in, really, and we're in finance, and the whole platform as a whole literally curates 8,000 different stock symbols and shows them to us in a way in which we want to see them. So that's what technology does. It brings the information to the surface and lets us as the humans curate it and take it from there. And we'll actually be talking about a little bit of a teaser on that as well, but we'll save that. So let's get started. Market recap. I'm going to take a little bit slower today on the market recap because there's a lot to talk about. I think today was a very significant day. Matter of fact, I came in today wanting to talk about one topic, and that topic was thrown out the window midday, and it morphed into another topic, and I'll explain what I'm talking about. There's really not much to talk about again on the AI recaps. It's been very quiet for the last week. Not much going on. We have 2 trade of the weeks, both with some unique action. We'll go through those. And then I've got a scan that I'm going to create and show and share, and we will also set some price alerts from that scan. We'll tie it all together after the market recap. I'll take a quick look at the sectors and see if anything stands out. I have a feeling there's not going to be much standing out in the bullish camp, but we'll take a look anyway. And then we'll finish up. When I'm doing that, you guys can start typing in questions, or I'm sorry, stock symbols that you want us to take a look at. We usually look at maybe 8 or 10 before the end of the webinar, so we'll do that last. But let's get started. I'll just minimize that, and we will go to SPY. I'm actually not going to start with SPY this week. SPY. It's a little messy. It broke through its 200, and it's kind of above its moving averages, but today it gave it away. But there's something really standing out glaringly in the NASDAQ. This is a much more interesting, cleaner, if you will, chart to try and gauge where we are right now. So I'm just gonna we'll start here, and I'll zoom out a little bit. Okay, so both Andy and I were playing the short side using SPXS or SQQQ, what have you, and a lot of other people were too as well. We talked about the tremendous selling that was going on back here. It was a sell the rips market, I kept saying. We got down here, and basically the buyers, the dippers stepped in and said, that's enough. We're going to squeeze the shorts now. So there was a lot of hedge funds, a lot of people, a lot of traders leaning short on this market, waiting for that to happen. And it didn't happen. And it's kind of typical with some of the price action when you get up here after a big run like we've had for the last 2 years. But I wound up covering, my SPXs, I think right about there after it closed above the 20 and told me that this was going to be different this time. And I played some long stuff. I had a pretty good couple of weeks actually trading some long ideas, some of the trade weeks and some of the other energy names and agriculture names. And then we broke above the 200-day moving average. Now notice the 200-day moving average played a big major role in those 4 days right there as resistance. So we came back up, shorts getting squeezed, then you've got the stubborn shorts who are being fully squeezed out here and just got ruined on their shorts. And then we posted a little candle right there above the 200-day moving average. Well, we couldn't build on that. And that was to be expected. And I thought, okay, well, we'll just keep an eye on this. We're probably going to have a couple of days of pullback, and we did. And we had just a perfect pullback right into the 10-day moving average with a wonderful bottoming tail, just piercing it, popping back up and closing above. And then, of course, yesterday, a nice big green day. It looked as if we were just on the move to get back above and force the battering ram back and up and through that 200-day moving average. Well, that didn't happen today. As a matter of fact, the exact opposite happened today. And I just saw a lot of things, guys, that I didn't like today. I pretty much cleared the decks on all of my longs, and I'm only going to keep my silver PSLV silver position. And I went net short today. So looking at the QQQ, you can see that we were coming into today corralled by that 10 on the bottom and the 200 on top. And which way is it going to resolve? Well, I always wait for the closing candle to try and figure out how things are going to resolve. But I did take a little stab midday at selling or buying some SQQs. So that's the triple inverse. But I did so like right here, batch number 1. And then I watched the market pop back up. And then when it went back down below, I bought another little lot. Same thing. It went back up above and went back to, I bought another third lot. So I got like I have a net short position, you guys, right now using the ETF SQQQ, which is a triple levered ETF. So if the NASDAQ goes down 2%, SQQ Q will be up 6%, 3 times the inverse. I try not to look at the moving averages on the levered ETFs because they're kind of like a fun house mirror. There's a lot going on there. You're better off using the underlying, in this case, NASDAQ QQQ as our guide. So I see basically a closing candle, which is resolving out of this pinched area right here. We did not build on that upper candle. We rolled over. And guys, I saw so much selling today. You know, when the market was down 0.5% and your stuff's down 6-7%. I cleared the decks and salvaged what I could, and some winners and a couple of small losers. And I'm just not liking what I'm seeing. So let's zoom out a little bit now. You can see on the daily, the 200-day was not even in play forever. We broke it, tested it, went down, the shorts got squeezed, and we can't get back above it again. So that's on the daily. But if we go to a weekly, it looks even uglier. All right. We're using the 50-day as kind of a interesting moving at 50-week moving average. And it held up back there and gave away, bounced back through, but we still can't get through it. Now, albeit this is not a closing weekly candle, it's only Tuesday, but I'm seeing a lot of spike, a lot of rejection, a lot of reversals on the weekly candles up here in this sweet spot right there. That's the armpit. That's where we bounce back down and come right back up. And in this case, it's also starting to kind of form a head and shoulders. But I'm going to move to the SPY, S&P now, next. So we're on a we're on a zoomed out time frame here, guys, weekly. We're not talking daily. I'm not going to predict what's going to happen tomorrow, but this is setting up for a rather ominous situation. And then when we go to the SPYs on the weekly, we see the same thing. We see a shoulder, head, any possible to be determined shoulder. These are the key type of reversal patterns after big runs that markets will generally see. All it is really is a lower high. You know, if it rolls back over, then we made a lower high right there, and that is a indication of a trend reversal. My watch lists were just covered in red this morning. You know, most of the things that I'm watching just horribly beaten up in individual names. And I'm going to tease it here real quickly. Maybe Andy's going to talk about it on the weekend, on Thursday. Maybe he won't. But we have a new swing trading. Basically, it's a curated symbol list coming out. And I'm going to let him talk about it when he's ready, because he's kind of the ones behind it and the brains behind the idea. But even that list was doing great for 5 or 6 days. We had a lot of good alpha, a lot of good green on there. We couldn't even buy a good trade today. So it just seems like nothing worked whatsoever. I feel good about clearing the decks on a lot of my longs, and I feel okay about being net short this market. I'm not going to sweat it. What would get me out of my net short? Using the Qs, because I'm in the SQQs. If we get back and start pounding above and close back above that 200-day, well, then I'm out. But this was my little critical level right here to just kind of watch what was going to happen in that pinched area. And it feels like the action today is just really giving way to not wanting to buy the dips out there. Probably something you'd like to add, I'm sure, Andy.
No, I totally agree. I've been waiting for this area. I mentioned a while back, I believe, maybe even in your last webinar, that we got to watch out for potential head and shoulders. Obviously, a lot of work to be done to complete that pattern, but yeah, you have to be a little wary of if you are bullish, because yeah, that was ugly today, and we'll see what happens the next few days. But yeah, and I agree. Our little swing trading, the eye we call it, has had. I mean, oh gosh, we've been testing it now for a couple of weeks, and I had some great trades. And I'll show more about this on Thursday. But yeah, it was, and they were all great setups today, and nothing really transpired. So it worked out.
I had no problem playing stocks to the long side here, because that was a move that was likely to come. But once we hit this level and got rejected, I thought today we were going, but the rejection and just the selling all day long. And then I waited. What was that closing candle going to look like? And there it is, a closing candle below the rising 10. So that's the first chink in the armor of the bulls who are trying to hold and support this. And that's why I used today as an entry to get net short. And I'm not really looking for longs. I think this was a really exhausted move from here to here. and I didn't want to be long a bunch of stuff up here. You know, maybe we pull back down here, maybe I cover some, and we see what happens. I don't know. It's just what I'm seeing. Doesn't mean you guys.
Well,
I'm reading Dave's comments. Sounds like Dave sold a lot of his stuff today too. He didn't like the action he saw today. So yeah, good. I think you're onto something there.
Mm-hmm.
What is the volume telling me? The volume's telling me on the way up, Ignacio, that as we bounced up here, it was doing so on lighter volume. As we were selling off, we were doing so on heavier volume. So it seems like every time we sell off, we get a little spike in volume.
Yeah, that's been the case for a while now. Yeah.
But these bounces are just a slow grind of squeezing the shorts out of their positions and making them cough them up. And then eventually it just runs out of steam. And there's no point in trying to buy new things or be long or hold on to things that aren't working up here. Press change, rearrange, clear the decks and see where we go. But for now, for the next couple of days, I'm net short. We'll see what happens. I'm not afraid to say it. All right. Not really much to talk about on the AI side, is there, Andy?
No, there really isn't, Steve. It was 4 trades. You had two small winners and 2 losers, and no, it's really just there's no sense in going over it.
All right. I agree.
Yep. I mean, if you'd like to talk about something, and for my
there was nothing I really saw I want to talk about. I mean, honestly, I'm going to be a little bit more excited about the trader's eye when that thing gets going. So we'll see.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, for trade of the week last week, First Solar. So goofy trade. It actually worked. It worked beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
There was our trigger. Nice first day move. I would have loved to see some more follow through on day 2, but we didn't get it. So it was just chopping around, looking beautiful until one of the I don't even know what to call them anymore. Analysts.
Yeah, really.
Something that's not going to be. I mean, whatever I come up, it's not going to be flattering.
Uh-uh.
As I said earlier, the analysts are the sheepdog herders of retail investors. They just, whatever they're telling you, it's usually do the opposite. Some really stupid analyst calls on U.S. Steel at the lows down there around $6 or $7. Goldman made a stupid call on another stock that was over 100 and it just sold off. So don't listen to the damn analysts. But the problem is the market listens to the damn analyst. And so they gave, for whatever reason, the beautiful chart, they gave it a downgrade today. So these things happen. We have to deal with them. It's technically not stopped out of the trade. It's still above the 20 SMA. But it's no fun when that kind of stuff happens. You just can't foresee it because again, that was a really nice looking pattern coming into today, right there. Really nice consolidation. So that's what's going on with First Solar. And then we move on to the really disappointing one. Gold miner did not trigger yesterday. It was 2 cents away from triggering yesterday, but it just had the wonderful audacity to give us a blast up in the morning and trigger. Now, Andy and I have noticed a lot of times we actually hate it when the stocks we're in do this in the first 30 minutes because usually they wind up finishing up like that. I like it when stocks go down and then kind of chop around and then blast to highs, maybe an hour after the open. But those opening range runs, it's just like a stop out run on the downside. It's kind of the same thing. Get everybody long and chasing and then just sold it off. So this is, one of the things that I did not like at all today. There's no safe haven. I would think sometimes in a market that's selling off and a chart that looks like this is where the safe money's been. Gold miners, that's what they've been doing. But for some reason today, they didn't want to play ball. Everything got sold and taken to the woodshed at the same time. So it's frustrating. And that's, again, another reason why I didn't like the action today. There was absolutely no safe haven. Well, there was, and we'll talk about that when I get to the sector analysis. GOLD, somebody asked me, they emailed me before the webinar, and I forget his name. He's going to watch the replay tomorrow. And great question. It's here we are, right? The stop on GOLD was to not let it close below the 20. Well, it didn't close. It touched the 20 and it bounced up a little bit. But the question was from a astute reader, well, what happens if it opens tomorrow under the 20? What should I do? And there's no right answer for that. I can tell you what I don't like to do. I don't like to panic out of things that gap below my stop and sell them right on the open, because more often than not, it seems like they just bounce it and I'm just mad that I got out so quick on the open. Same thing with the opening run today to the upside. They could do that again to the downside tomorrow and then reverse it after 40 minutes. So I told them, what I would do if it doesn't reverse after the first 30 minutes, if it does trade below that 20 tomorrow, and it just looks like it wants to just keep grinding, then you got to just cut it. But it makes it kind of tough when it touches it and bounces just and closes just above it. Hopefully, we'll get some overnight gold market love, and maybe we won't even have to worry about that tomorrow. We'll see. But again, doesn't matter what sector you were in. These were ugly, ugly rejections wicks from the first opening few candles. So that's our trade of the week. Again, technically it's still open, but it could get dicey tomorrow. We'll see. All right, so where we're going to go from here is taking in everything that I've just said. Buying the dips is hard up here. Things are not working as well as I would like them to. Matter of fact, one of the things I had to sell the second half of today and I was upset about, you can see there's my sell right there. Okay, that was the second, that was me getting out of the second half. I got out of the first half up here, thought I could hold the second half coming into today, nice little consolidation above moving average, and then it just got slammed. So I saw that moving average catching up with it. I said, nope, I'm done, just get me out. Nothing's working. But the reason I bring this chart up is once again, that damn declining 50-day simple moving average is just killing things that even try and make a semblance of a run above it. You know, in hindsight, I wish I had sold more, but at least I sold half and recognize that. But I'm seeing this kind of stuff everywhere. I'm seeing it everywhere. So I thought, well, let's just kind of retool here a little bit and see if we can take some trade idea scans and we'll mark up some price alerts as well. So let me clear my price alerts to start with, because I will share these. We'll start with a fresh, clean slate. Now, what I did is I took a scan that Andy's used over the years, and I've used it as well, and it works great in bull markets that want to do something. It's called pulling back above the 50. Pulling back above the 50 SMA. Well, that's not what I'm looking for now. That's when you buy the dip. We're not in a buy the dip market. So what I did is I right-clicked. I'll just show you what I did. I right-clicked, and I did duplicate, and then I went to configure. And on the configure, we have this flip button. It basically is going to invert a strategy that buys pullbacks to the 50s. 50. Now we're going to look for stuff that is inverted and bouncing up to the 50, just like that DNA did to me. So we'll go ahead and flip that, I believe. And I actually gave that one a name. I'll just reload it again here. It's called sell at the 50. Why is my thing tripping out here? Here we go, sell at the 50. Come on, load. All right, so let's minimize the pullback to the 50. Now we've got this inverted upside down list. Let's take a look at some of these names. And let's get our price alerts ready to maybe look at a couple of ideas tomorrow. All right, that one's not close enough to the 50 for me, and they're not all going to be perfect. That one was, interestingly enough, rejected at the 50. Banksy, Black Sky, $2 stock. I'll come back to that one maybe. This is the kind of stuff I'm liking here. Okay, so look at this. They took down those lows, a day or two of travel, a day or two of trading lower, and then boop, bounce right back up, and a big old rejection wick right there at the 50. So I'm going to take my price alert, and we're going short because the price alert's below us. And tomorrow, if that price alert triggers, you know, if you guys haven't short sold anything yet, you know, this is the kind of way that you want to short sell. You don't want to short sell down here after it's run down 5 days and broken support. And you're just asking to be ripped apart and blown out and covering your shorts, 4 or 5 days of pain, and then we get a nice reversal wick. So this is the kind of stuff I'm looking for. And I'm just basically going to mark up some price alerts for you guys and share those price alerts. And yes, I will share the scan as well, don't worry. And we'll hand that out. So let's keep going here. Oh, I know this is a good one. I already saw this. This one is textbook. You like that one, Andy? As far as the look of
I do. I like that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's really expended a lot of energy getting up to the 50. Tested it yesterday and failed. Broke back down below today. I'm going to put a price alert pretty much right in here, right in there for tomorrow to go short. See what happens on that one. Here's another decent one, okay? 3-4 days of up move and an exhaustion wick right at the 50. I'll look at the intraday chart and I'll just pop a short price alert in there. Because guys, this is the kind of stuff that I think you only really have a shot at right now. It's a very choppy market. There are stuff that could be bought, but it seems like after a day like today, there was no safe haven. And I'm just tired of seeing some of these charts run right into the declining 50-day moving average and then stalling. We got a couple so far. I like this one too. This one's actually at the 20, and I'm going to mark that one up because it's very well could break that tomorrow. That one's consolidating a little bit too much. I like to see them just run out of energy, like TTM. That's not bad. It really kind of ran out of energy. This is it's Tata Motors. That's an ADR. It's an overnight stock. I'm not going to call that one because of all the gaps. That one trades in India. There's too much consolidation there. Nothing really exciting there. That's kind of interesting. A lot of volume there, but it's been a real flat base, so I don't like that one. Okay, so we're going to move on to another concept here. We're going to add to it. We're going to go the same one, pullback above the 20. Well, this is a long strategy. We're not looking for longs. We're looking for shorts. So we're going to duplicate that, and we're going to configure it to flip it upside down and see if there's anything else on that one that we might want to mark up. Flip. Okay, oh, only 3. Let's take a look. Post, we already marked that one up, so that was a duplicate from the other scan. Okay, good. WTI, I think that was a duplicate also. And ACI, I like this one. Albertsons, oh boy, interesting. I like this one as for a short. So we found this one on that second one. I'm gonna go ahead and just, actually I'm gonna use that 30, I think. I'll put it right about there. Okay, so this is one way of doing it using top lists. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and share out the sell at the 50 because this could very well come in handy for you guys tomorrow. Actually, before I do that, let's just take a look and see what happened yesterday. What was on here yesterday at the end of the day? All right, let's see what these things did today. Oh, look at that. Very first one, big red candle. Not much there. Reversal wick there. Again, these were all coming out on yesterday's scans. I have not looked at it until now. Yeah, that one ran up and hit the 20 and failed. Ooh, this one could be one to watch coming into if it touches that 50. So this was all yesterday. All right, so I'm going to go back to real time, live always, and I will share this cloud link because I know some people are asking for it. And we'll do that. I'm putting this in the chat window, not the questions window. And there's the cloud link for that. Any questions I need to answer here? No?
No, we're all good.
Okay.
Except somebody wanted you to share that pullback above 50.
Pullback above 50? Oh, okay, I can share that one too. I shared the sell at the 50.
Mm-hmm.
Did they want the pullback? Okay, you want the pullback, I see. We'll do that too. Pullback above 50. Then what we're going to do next is we're going to take the one that I just made and as a top list, and we can modify it and look at it differently. I'll show you how to do that. So we'll save and share pullback. So basically, these are just two inverted scans from each other.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So what we have is a top list. And as you guys know, T-window top list refreshes every 30 seconds. We can also run races on these and see which ones are moving. That's one concept you could do. But if we wanted to turn a top list concept into a real-time alert, I'm going to show you how to do that. So how do we turn a T window into an A window? Well, right click and we do this tool called collaborate. It's basically just copying all the filter settings of my top list. It's not really saving to the cloud, but it's kind of similar. So I'm copying the collaboration log for those filters. Then I will come up here and create a new alert window. And it doesn't matter, I'm just going to launch it as it is, doesn't matter what it is. But now I can fill it in by going to collaborate and paste. So I've basically pasted all the filters into an A window, but we're one step shy of making it work. Notice in configuration, there's a heartbeat there. That's a placeholder. It's basically saying, well, this is an alert window. You need an event. So what if we just took a new low and said, that's our event? We could look at, oh, look at that. There's our friend Clorox. That was one of the best looking ones on there today. So, you know, in a history like today, you'll see a lot of the same names, but you're seeing them as they're actually making a new low. So you can take this scan one step further, like this POST, even though I love the way it looks there, you don't just maybe jump in and just sell it and short sell it and hope it does what you want. Maybe you're somebody who wants a second level of confirmation. That's what this window does. It lets you know, hey, all those stocks that were, you know, stopped at the 50, well, they're making new lows right now. And so it's a different way to approach getting that information in real time as these stocks are making new lows. So I will also share this for anybody who wanted the collaborated version of that window. Copy. All right. This is the alert window. All right. So you got a few cloud links in there. I would drop my price alert, but I'm not sure I'm ready to do that yet. We still might find something, but maybe Andy remind me I have to do that before we sign off because I got some price alerts in there. What I want to do now, yeah, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shorts. What I do want to do now is, as mentioned, go through the sectors. And I might go through them quickly. I might stop on a couple. I don't know what we're going to see. It's the first time I'm looking at it after the close here. What I can tell you is, to begin with, this is the strongest sector. We've all heard the story of the agricultural and fertilizer issues, and exports, and some nasty, scary stuff being talked about out there. So naturally, that's showing up in stocks like CF. It's just, this thing is just grinding higher. I tried to shake a lot of people out here, but I really think you guys need to keep an eye on this. As a matter of fact, I am going to set this price alert for a long. There's no point in not knowing if it gets above this level tomorrow. This is where the only strength is that I see. CF is a component of the ags. Also, Mosaic is a fertilizer company. Very similar. They tried to get going today. Look at that, and then they got reversed. But I think there's an underpinning bullishness in these stocks. I'll go ahead and put an alert in that one too, to the long side. So the sectors. Let's just go through and see what we see here. The next strongest one was the healthcare sector. Technically, it did hold on. So those really are the only two that closed above their moving averages and look okay. iWire does look pretty good. That looks pretty good. Real estate, it could very well easily come out of this congestion at some point and try and blast higher. And I think I failed to mention it. If I did mention it, I forgot. You guys are free to send in some symbols now as I go through this list quickly. When I finish, we can look at some of the stock charts that you guys might want to see. We can give you our opinion. GLD is just doing nothing, sliding sideways. I'm still bullish on gold and silver. I really want to see the 50-day moving average hold on to that particular, the gold ETF itself. XLF just dipping back into the mess, the abyss. Silver as well there was no safe haven today. There's absolutely no safe haven. I'll show you one thing though I'm kind of looking at, which is curious. Brian Shannon showed me this. I'm in PSLV. It's a different silver fund. And Brian Shannon is the guru of the anchored VWAP. And so if I take an anchored VWAP and I find the first day of the year, which is that day right there, anchor it. Look at how that anchored VWAP held my PSLV back on this day. So Yeah, I don't like this day, but I still see a giant wedge in here, and I'm going to lean on this level right there, that 850 level, and hope that that level holds. So that was silver. This is the commodity, definitely a strong index, the commodity index, DBC. Again, for the fertilizer and the oil and the energy, probably don't want to lose track of the commodities, because if this thing tries to break out, then I would want to go with that. Airlines. Yeah, just kind of holding pattern. SPA, we looked at that. Horrible downtrend for treasuries. Yeah. How come my sector ETF has different change from the close from the other sector, XLV? I don't know. Maybe it's I mean, it's changed from the close. I'm not sure. Energy spiders. Are they running out of steam up here? They might be running out of steam. We'll see. But energy has also been a strong one. That's going to have to hold up. The biotechs. Retail looks terrible. It can't get back above its 50. I would not be bullish retail stocks. The consumer doesn't have any money after they go to the gas pump. Home builders, mortgage rates are going up. Home builders going down. Technology, this is basically the Qs. Technology spider, same thing. And there's our treasuries going lower, kicking the interest rates higher. Qs, we talked about that ad nauseum. IWM just choppy as well. So I think as we go through these, oil sector is still on a good trend, but bled a little bit today. Boy, the tan is running right smack into the 200-day, the solars. Steel looks like it might be running out of gas as well. So once again, guys, retail, technology doesn't look that great. Agriculture, commodities, energy, that really seems to be where the strength still is. So a couple questions here, it looks like, and I'll get to your stocks in a second. Somebody said, when loading a copied link, is there a way to save it to our cloud at the same time, or is it a two-step process load? The easiest way, Jonathan, is to just click the link. Well, this is the long version, actually. You can right-click on the link and do save link address, or you can click on it, spawn the URL, and then copy that URL. But you have to basically go to File, Load from Cloud. It will be right there ready. You just click Load. So it's kind of a 2 or 3 step process.
Yeah, there's no way to save it as you're loading it. You have to, you maybe show them the step to save it afterwards.
Right. So after I've loaded that from somebody's external link, it's still not set in stone. It's on my desktop, but it's not embedded.
Right.
You have to come in here and save.
Yeah, I think that's what he was asking. Is there
I think
a
you're
one-step process? There's not. You have to do the two-step process.
Yeah, or what you can do is you can bring it in and then just save your layout. That'll always keep it in your layout. But either way, it's good to have a copy in the cloud.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I don't know, David. It must be just a different sector of spiders that you're looking at. I don't know. So I think we're good to go. Okay, so we're going to go into the symbols here. Dave's got the first one at DBA. Really nice wedge, agriculture fund. Yeah, okay, so I guess you were probably talking about that versus the MOO, M-O-O. Two different weightings, two different funds altogether. But that is a good one. As a matter of fact, I might even just add that one right now. So I'm going to add that. Send DBA to symbol list ETF. Now it's going to be in there for good. All right, so James wants to look at a couple. Amazon's looking like what the Qs are doing. They're looking very much like they're mirroring the NASDAQ. 200-day was support, 200-day broke, and now 200-day looks like it's beginning to be resistance again. I don't know if the retail sales and the consumer spending is going to find its way through the Amazon. They're still selling stuff to people who have less money, but I don't speculate on that stuff. I just read charts, and the charts tell me we're definitely consolidating here. It needs to get back above the 200-day to be bullish. It could take a week to consolidate. Who knows? The other one you had was Baba. Horrible downtrend. China stocks have been really under pressure lately. It's doing its best to stay above the 50. That's the first order of business. But if it closes back below this 50 again, then I would be concerned about that one. And then NIO, a little bit better. You can see the 50-day moving average I was talking about and we were scanning for. Big rejection there. It looked like it was going to roll over, but it reclaimed. It returned. It reclaimed the pyramids.
I'm actually in that one.
Okay, good. Yeah, Andy
I didn't care for the action today, but and I sold half of it. But yeah, I still have half of it.
I'll say it's still intact there above the 50 and the 10. That's probably the best looking one you've had. Oh, MBD for Chris. Did I type that wrong? MDB? Nope, I did. MDB. Looks very similar to, what is this? Software publishers. Yeah, looks like very similar to what the market's doing in general. It's had a big move off of this low, and it's either going to run out of steam here and roll over, or it's just going to consolidate sideways and build a new higher base camp. It's holding up okay. It's intact. It's technically above all of its moving averages, so you do have that going for you. Facebook for a short, huh? Let's see. Well, staying consistent with what I was just talking about during the webinar today, it reclaimed its 50 yesterday, and it still has it today. I don't think I'd want to short Facebook until it broke these moving averages. So it's just holding up. It very well could just do something like this for the next few days. But if it decides to come back down and break that blue line and challenge that red line, then you might be onto something. But right here, it could be a guess. It very well could just dig in. No. So we got Tesla, Costco, and a couple more. We'll make Laura at UPST the last one. So no more requests, please. So we'll do Tesla. Also possibly running out of steam after a big move, but what it's got going for it is above all of its moving averages. If it does want to post a close under this rising 10, that would be the first shot across the bow for softening prices in Tesla. Costco. Again, boy, the retail, it's tough. Look at these 4 rejection wicks up here. This kind of speaks to me a little bit. It doesn't like being up here. So I wouldn't be establishing a new position up here, but the good news is you are above all your moving averages. Again, same thing. If it wants to decide to post a close under that moving average, you can see it tested it here and here, and it was basically holding on to it. But if it loses that, then you're going to have probably a couple days of consolidation or maybe more. AMD and NVIDIA. These are tough. These are technology stocks, and they're just under all moving averages. AMD is not looking that great. It's got a lot of work to do. NVIDIA better than AMD because it's above its moving averages, but it did lose its 10. Now it's going to work on its 20. This 50-day moving average is going to come up underneath. You really need it to hold that level. I'd hate to see it lose 250, but that's a much better looking chart than AMD. BCTX. Really nice, strong trend, but at some point that trend is going to abate. Just use that rising 10-day moving average. The minute you get a closing candle below that rising 10, you probably don't want to be in it. FUTU. It was a messy chart. Not a lot going on there. Securities brokerage, huh? Yeah. Well, that's a messy chart, but it's trying. It's above its moving averages. If it can stay a couple days above this, flattening 50-day moving average, there might be something there. But it's not really screaming anything. It's a nice base down here. There's your bottom tick base, so it really should hold that orange line for whatever reason. Somebody probably asked me about this chart before, and I still have that orange line in there. All right. Did we do UPST already? I thought we did. Nope. That doesn't look good. UPST, Laura, it's creeping below its moving averages. It's starting to drip down below, and the averages are pressing down on top of the price. That's guilty until proven innocent on that one. 2 more. I'm sorry, this is the last one. Chris, my SMAs, they're simple moving averages, 10, 20, 50, and 200. All right. All right, last one for Lou, and then we'll bring in Scott for any announcements. And Lou wanted to look at Boyle. Nice move over the last 2 weeks. Bit of a blow-off pattern there today. Gap up. It's still held positive on the day, but a big topping tail wick. I don't know what your position is in this one, but it could be ready to give some back. You've got a lot of separation between the price and the rising 10 SMA. Yes, James, I use SMA over EMA because that's what I've always used, and I just keep it simple as a joke. I'm half joking, but it's just I've seen the correlations that work best for me are the simples, the 10, 20, and 50. All right, well, it looks like we're all set. Price alerts, thank you, David, for the reminder. Andy was supposed to do that. And price alerts, we got a couple in there, so we'll go ahead and share these out since we worked on them together. And they'll be live for all of you tomorrow if you accept them. Did I do that right? Share, copy all. Yep, I guess I did. Okay, price alerts are going to be dropped into the chat window here. And thank you for that reminder, David. I would have forgotten. All right, guys, we're all good. I'm all talked out. We'll bring in Scott for some final announcements.
Yeah, thank you. So let's check some things out on the way out. If you have E-Trade, there's great news. If you're a premium subscriber, you can auto trade using E-Trade for $0 commission. You can also connect any Trade Ideas account using Brokerage Plus to E-Trade and do one-click trading at $0 commission. Just check it out, tradeIdeas.com/E-Trade for more info on that. If you're an interactive brokerage client, great news. They also connect to our Brokerage Plus account for seamless trading. Manage your portfolio from within Trade Ideas, execute your trades, set up auto trading. And of course, Interactive Brokerage has that great short book. So go ahead and check it out at trade-ideas.com/IBKR to find out how to become an Interactive Brokerage customer. We have a code, Spring is Here, save you 15% off any new Trade Ideas subscription or upgrade from standard to premium. And if you have any questions, email us, info@trade-ideas.com. Don't forget to check out Steve. He's on Twitter now. He's on TikTok now at Today Trader on TikTok. He's been getting some good traction, great feedback. We're also on YouTube. Trade Ideas is the handle there. You can also find Steve on Twitter at TISteveG. And Facebook, of course, is Trade Ideas Pro. We have some other handles you can find. If you follow these, you'll get links to the others. The recording of the session will be up later on tonight or tomorrow, so stay tuned for that email update. Thank you, Steve and Andy. Y'all have a good one.
All right, I'll see some of you tomorrow.
Thanks, everybody. I'll see you on Thursday.